Okay, today I'm going to demonstrate how to create a layer mask, and we are going to cut this Corvette out of this picture, and we are going to try and place it into this empty driveway. So here we go. First of all, to create a cutting or a layer mask, you need to select what you want to copy over. So we are going to use the quick selection tool right here, which works really well. Um, then you will use to adjust the size. Right now it's at a 5. To adjust that size, you can use the bracket keys. Just under the backspace key, there's a right and a left bracket. The left bracket will make it larger, or the right bracket will make it larger, the left bracket will make it smaller. To start, you want a fairly good sized brush, because what this is actually doing is taking sampling of each pixel within the circle here of the brush size. So here you can see it's going to grab yellow and white and some black pixels, and it will just, as I click and drag, it will just create a mask with those layers that it's sampling. I'm going to make it just a little smaller, and I'm just going to start from right here, and I'm just going to click and drag here and just try and move right around. I'm going to go ahead and capture the shadow of this car as well for today, and just go right around, and we're just adding to the mask. Now, all right, now that's a good start. Now you can see I got a little outside right over here. So what I'm going to do is use the left bracket key and go down smaller, and then we are going to use the minus because we want to remove this from the mask. So you can either click the minus key up here, or you can hold the Alt button down on your screen, and if you'll notice, that little brush, when I hold the Alt button down, goes to a minus, and now I'm going to click and drag, and it will just cut that. Oop. And we want to cut this mask down here. Now we want to add this to the mask. So best way to add this to the mask, go back to the plus and just click and drag. And if you just click and drag, it will add that to the mask. Now it took a little too much away. I'm going to hold the Alt down and zoom in here a little bit. And now you hold the Alt down and get the minus key, and I want to minus some of that out, and I want to minus some of this out in here. And let's go smaller here. So I'm just getting in that gray area, and hold the Alt down and minus a little bit of this, and minus just a little bit of that. And now hold the Alt down, wheel the mouse out, and I want to minus some of this here as well. And okay, sorry about that. Had a little interruption. So now we need to go back to and we'll get back into the minus key here and just take a little bit of this away here and work right down, and you can see it's pretty amazing how it just goes and it knows what to pick up and what to not. And you want to just get this smooth pretty well round. Let's get that a little bit smaller, and you take your time and do a real good job with this. I'm just going kind of quick here. Um, but you take your time and do a good job and try to get this as smooth around here as you can. And that looks pretty good. Oop, got a whole big, see the marching ants around the tail light or headlight here. So we need to just clean that up and add all that to the mask. So now that looks pretty good. We might do just a little bit over here and just get that. I want to get that right out there. And oop, there we go. So that looks pretty good right there for this. Now, what you want to do is if you click the Refine Edge tool up here, that brings us into this box. And this is really nice because you'll really be able to see if you missed any parts. And this doesn't look too bad. We got a little extra in here. We got a little extra around the mirror. So if we want to go back and clean that up, we can. You say cancel. And now if I just hold the Alt button down, wheel the mouse. Let's go ahead and make this a little small. Oop, cancel. Go ahead and make this a little bit smaller here. Hold the the Alt button down, and we can get that in just a little tighter there. And so you may need to come back and refine some of this just a little bit more, and that takes some time, and you could just take your time and go ahead and clean that up. For demonstration, I'll go ahead and proceed on. So then when you come back in to refine edge, you can look at this various ways, and this is kind of nice. You can look at it with a red background so you can kind of see your mask and see what you may have missed. You can look at it on black so you can see what you might have missed. You can look at it on white. You can look at it with a mask. You can look at it as we were in the when we were cutting the mask, and you can actually reveal the whole layer. Let's leave it on white, and now what we're able to do here, and like I said, I'd probably need to go back, cancel this, go back and clean this up a little bit better. But what this refine edge does, if you turn on the smart radius, and now if you just kind of watch this edge right here, as I move this smart radius up here a little bit, it just kind of smooths that edge out. And so what this smart edge is detecting is going all the way around the edge of the mask. And it is just, the radius is how large of a brush it's moving along that mask edge with, and it's just refining it just a little bit. Now that actually looks pretty good right there, so I'm just going to leave that. You're welcome to adjust the edge this way. Play around with these if you want. You can always reset them to 0. We're going to leave it like this. Now, when I output this, it's really important. Click here on the output. We can output it as a layer mask, as a new layer with layer mask, and that's what we want to do. We could do new document or new document with layer as well, but we want to do this new layer with layer mask. So now when I click OK, here is the new layer with the layer mask, just like you did on the previous exercise. So now we're ready to move this. The easiest way to move this into the empty driveway is to click Window, Arrange, and go to the 2 vertical. Now once you're in the 2 vertical here, you'll click on the Move tool over here in this one, and you'll just physically click and drag this then over to the empty driveway. Now, let's go ahead and turn this one back off. I'm not going to close it. I'm going to just go back to consolidate all tabs. So now I'm going to back out. Now I'm just on the driveway, but the problem is the car is a lot bigger than the picture of the driveway. Picture of the driveway is just this rectangle right here. So to adjust that, if you go right up here and turn on Show Transformation Controls. Now I'm going to back up a ways. You can see this is how large the car is compared to the size of the driveway. So we need to make this a lot smaller. I'm going to hold the Shift button down as I click and drag to get that down to a reasonable size then, and then you can see the car in, and let's just zoom in here a little bit, and let's see what the car looks like. That still looks a little large, so I'm going to hold the Shift button down, make it a little bit smaller, and now you just have to do this by eye to get it to the right size. If you get just off the edge here, you can even rotate this a little bit if you think it needs to be rotated slightly to make it look better. And once you have it set in there the way you think it looks best, hit the check mark to commit that to this photo, and then uncheck the transform controls. And there you have it, the car placed in the driveway, and that looks pretty good. Make sure you save this. And just to go back to the car one more time, if we go back to the car, by outputting it with the layer mask to a new layer, you preserve the original photograph. The original photograph is right here preserved. You just created a mask over the top, and you ended up with this. So there's your picture. Good luck, and have some fun creating layer masks.